Hello, it is I, Valadriel the Mad. I wanted to put together this video for you guys to show you all of the stuff that I've come up with my new, Mad Armory mod. This is, of course, using Wackydb. For anyone that isn't familiar with Wackydb, it is this great mod that essentially lets you change whatever you want about any item in the game. For instance, I put together this set of Deep North armor that I call Mithril armor, heavily inspired by Lord of the Rings. As you can see, what I did was I took a bunch of the iron pieces and some of the silver pieces, retextured them, recolored them. Also took the Lock's cape, did some retexturing, recoloring it to it as well to give it kind of like a elven mithril cape kind of look to it. Hope everyone likes it. Great thing about Wackydb is it also lets you do things like add whatever stats that you want. I mean, this may seem like it's a little overpowered, but I wanted it to be thematic. You know, number one, we've got the Mithril set bonus going on. Mithril is extremely hard according to the lore, so you get blunt, slash, and pierce damage resistance. You also get stamina regen. You also just use less stamina and less energy when you're wearing this armor in general, simply because it's Mithril and it's meant to be lightweight. If anyone feels like this is just way too overpowered, it's actually really simple to make adjustments in the Wackydb files, and I'll probably make a video sometime in the future where I just show you guys how to do it. But in the meantime, this is what I've set up. Let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like, and I'll make some adjustments. So far, I've made the Mithril pants, Mithril armor, the Mithril helm, Mithril cape, and then I also added some weapons. This is obviously the Frostnir, retextured and recolored with my version of like red and blue rubies and gold etched into it. I also want to point out that the color of the pommel is also different as well. This item is the Mithril mace. It's called Feanor's hammer. If anyone that's a Lord of the Rings fan, that's an Easter egg for them. I then also I recolored and retextured the Mistwalker sword to create my version of the Glam Ring, another Lord of the Rings Easter egg for those that are interested. I'm sure you can look it up yourselves. I really like how this came out. I actually didn't think that we can get like this really bright white color out of it, but I think it worked out pretty well. And last but not least, I also created this, Mithril bow. Draugr fan retextured, giving it that same kind of bright white color in addition to some of the, silver detailings to make it look like, it's got like it's silver mithril kind of weaved through it. Yes, for the 1000th time, I'm a giant Lord of the Rings fan. I am shameless about this. But in addition to that, I've made some also non-vanilla changes that I wanted to show folks. The one that I'm most excited about... Give me a moment. Not sure why it's raining. At least it's daytime now. So one of the things that I added was I made Haldor and Hildur into craftable items. I tried to make them extensions to the Magic Crystal table, but still having difficulty figuring out how to do that. But once you have the proper items, which can only be purchased from each individual trader, you can go ahead and craft them. Put them wherever you want in your world. And then, as a special bonus, I also added our good friend Torsten. If you're not familiar with Torsten, he is a trader from the Epic Valheim Editions mod. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He's a trader from the Monster Labs mod. It's one of the two. Can't remember to be honest. But if you download either one of those mods, you'll be able to craft him as well. He's cheaper. He only takes a couple Thunderstone and 500 coins. For anyone that's ever played with him in the game, you'll understand why. You can find him within like 5 minutes of starting a new game. Some other changes that I made that folks might be interested in is for anyone that's using Horum's Do or Die shields, or do or die items, you'll notice one of the most annoying parts about that mod is that one of the crafting materials for all of the shields is always a broken version of the shield, and they all use the exact same visual. So what ends up happening is you beat a bunch of bosses, then you've got like this surplus of shields that are in a bunch of different boxes, and they're all using the exact same icon, so you have to hover over them. It's just a big pain. I really didn't like them. So what I did instead was, for my world, I just removed the drop lists for the shields altogether. You can do that yourself literally by just removing the drop list that's generated when you're using either one of those mods. And then I went ahead and just put in other boss-specific items instead of having to get that specific broken shield to drop off the boss. Hopefully this makes it less of a pain for folks to get like these amazing looking shields. For anyone that hasn't played with Horum's Do or Die shields or Do or Die items, I gotta tell you guys, you're missing out. All of Horum's stuff is really, really good and way better than anything that I've ever put together. So lots of love to that guy. The other change that I made is really just for folks, is really anyone that's playing with Epic Valheim editions. One of the things that they'll realize once they get to the Ashlands is that there's one of the prefabs for the blast furnace was entered incorrectly. I just made a simple change for that, so the ore that comes from that mod, it will still be usable once you guys hit the Ashlands. Why is this important? Because there's a bunch of other mods that actually use that material in order to create like endgame armors. So rather than having to go in and change a bunch of entries for a bunch of different endgame items from like 20 different mods that you could potentially load up, I instead just fixed the blast furnace so that it uses Epic Valheim's version of flame metal ore in addition to the new vanilla flame metal ore that's been added to the game. Last but not least, for fans of both Epic Valheim editions and Valheim Armory, which is my absolute favorite combination in terms of weaponry in this game, I created Fro Metal and Abyssal Bow variants of the Blood Carapace Bow. Each one is using the same prefab for the Blood Carapace Bow, but they're just recolored, retexturized for whatever, this is obviously the Frost version, this is the Abyssal version. I've had a couple of people ask me why I didn't create a version for the Flame Metal Bow from Epic Valheim editions. Really, that's because in my server, we don't use the Flame Metal weapons, we're using the vanilla weapons. I use the Flame Metal weapons from Epic Valheim editions, for my NPC mods primarily, to give my orcs and Urukai cool weapon sets that are unique to them. So on my servers, you don't find those weapons, but why are these bows awesome? Well, because they work off of blood magic. No arrows required. So each one of these bows will increase both your blood magic. Oh, there you go. Thank you for demonstrating, Mr. Grey Dwarf. Each one of these bows, as I was saying, function completely off of your character's health. So if you have really high blood magic, the health that you lose is actually very, very small. I personally love the Bloodbone bows from the Valheim Armory. The ability to start leveling your blood magic skill early in the game is fantastic. Even if you don't download my Armory mod, I highly recommend that you guys download Valheim Armory. It's my favorite weapon progression mod in the game currently. that's it. I plan on making a lot more things using Wackydb, so stay tuned. And for anyone that's new, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about my mods, feel free to follow me on Discord. Thank you.